Hello everyone and welcome to our deep dive into the fascinating world of tissues. Today, we're exploring epithelial tissue, a vital component that covers surfaces, forms protective barriers, and plays many crucial roles in your body. We'll start with the basics, then gradually unlock more complex concepts, taking you on an exciting journey from easy to the hardest levels of understanding. Let's begin. Ready to uncover the secrets of your body's protective layers? Let's start with the fundamental building blocks of epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue is like the body's natural wrapping paper. It's a type of animal tissue that forms the outer covering of your entire body, like your skin, and also lines all the internal organs and cavities. Imagine it as a protective shield for everything inside and out. Its cells are packed incredibly tightly, leaving almost no space between them, which helps it form strong, continuous sheaths. This tight packing is a key feature that allows it to perform its protective and barrier functions effectively. So, what does this tightly packed tissue actually do? Well, it has several important jobs. Firstly, it provides protection, acting as a barrier against injuries, harmful germs, and chemicals, just like your skin protects you. Secondly, it's involved in absorption, helping your body take in nutrients, for example, in your intestines. Lastly, it plays a role in secretion, producing and releasing substances like sweat, enzymes, or hormones. You can find epithelial tissue in places like the outer layer of your skin, the lining of your mouth, and even the tiny air sacs in your lungs. Now, let's test your understanding of the basics. Take a moment to answer these three questions. What is the primary characteristic of epithelial tissue regarding cell arrangement? Name two main functions of epithelial tissue. And finally, give one example of where epithelial tissue can be found in the human body. Think carefully about what we've just covered. Great job with the basics. Now, let's peel back another layer and explore the different types and classifications of epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue, with its tightly packed cells and minimal intercellular spaces, is truly a marvel of biological engineering. It forms critical boundaries throughout your body, from your skin to the lining of your stomach, and even the delicate air sacs in your lungs. Its structure, being a continuous sheet, allows it to serve as a reliable barrier, protecting underlying tissues from damage, infection, and dehydration. This foundational tissue is essential for maintaining the body's internal environment and enabling vital processes. We can classify epithelial tissue in two main ways, by the shape of its cells and by the number of cell layers. When we look at shape, we have squamous epithelium, which has thin, flat cells perfect for diffusion, cuboidal epithelium, with cube-shaped cells for secretion and absorption, and columnar epithelium, with tall, pillar-like cells also involved in secretion and absorption, often with specialized features like cilia. Regarding layers, simple epithelium has a single layer, ideal for processes like absorption and filtration, while stratified epithelium has multiple layers, providing robust protection against wear and tear. The basement membrane is another crucial component. It's a non-cellular layer that acts as a foundation, separating the epithelial tissue from the connective tissue beneath it. This membrane provides structural support, helps the epithelial cells adhere, and also acts as a selective filter, controlling what passes through. So, whether it's protecting your skin with stratified squamous cells, absorbing nutrients in your small intestine with simple columnar cells, or filtering blood in your kidneys with simple cuboidal cells, the specific structure of epithelial tissue is perfectly matched to its function. Time to challenge your knowledge a bit more. Here are 5 questions for you. What are the 3 main shapes used to classify epithelial cells? Differentiate between simple and stratified epithelium. Which type of epithelium is best suited for absorption and why? Where would you typically find squamous epithelium in the body? And finally, what is the role of the basement membrane in epithelial tissue? Take your time to recall the details. Ready to go deeper? Let's explore the intricate structures that make epithelial tissues so incredibly effective at their jobs. Epithelial tissues are not just collections of cells, they are highly organized, unified systems. Their cellularity, meaning a high density of cells combined with their distinct polarity, having a top, bottom, and sides, and a vascularity, meaning they lack direct blood supply, are all key to their function. The tightly packed nature isn't just about cells being close, it's maintained by specialized structures called cell junctions. These junctions are like molecular glue and seals, ensuring tissue integrity and regulating what passes between cells, which is crucial for their barrier and selective transport roles. There are several types of cell junctions, each with a specific role. Tight junctions form a continuous, impermeable seal, preventing substances from leaking between cells, which is vital in organs like the gut. Adhering junctions provide strong mechanical attachment, often working with actin filaments to hold cells together. Desmosomes are like spot welds, anchoring cells firmly, especially in tissues subjected to significant mechanical stress, such as your skin. Lastly, gap junctions allow direct, rapid communication between cells by forming tiny channels, although they don't directly contribute to the tight packing itself. Together, these junctions create a robust and regulated barrier. Underneath every epithelial layer lies the basement membrane, a specialized extracellular matrix. It's composed of two main layers, the basal lamina, secreted by the epithelial cells themselves, and the reticular lamina, contributed by the underlying connective tissue. This membrane isn't just a passive support, it acts as a selective filter, influencing cell behavior, growth, and differentiation. Furthermore, some epithelial cells specialize in secretion, forming glandular epithelium. These glands can be exocrine, releasing substances through ducts like sweat glands, or endocrine, secreting hormones directly into the bloodstream without ducts, such as the thyroid. This highlights how epithelial structure is perfectly adapted to diverse physiological demands. Now, let's test your deeper understanding with these 7 questions. Explain the primary function of tight junctions in epithelial tissue. Describe the two main components of the basement membrane. How do desmosomes contribute to the integrity of epithelial tissue? Differentiate between exocrine and endocrine glands with respect to their secretion mechanism. Why do epithelial tissues exhibit high regenerative capacity? How does epithelial cell shape correlate with its primary function? And finally, provide an example of a tissue where adhering junctions would be particularly abundant and explain why. Good luck! All right, experts. Get ready to push the boundaries of your knowledge. We are diving into the most complex and cutting-edge aspects of epithelial tissue. Beyond the basic classifications, epithelial tissues exhibit remarkable specialization. Consider pseudostratified columnar epithelium, found in your trachea. It appears multilayered, but every cell actually touches the basement membrane, and it's often ciliate to sweep away debris. Then there's transitional epithelium, unique to the urinary tract. Its cells can dramatically change shape, allowing organs like the bladder to stretch and contract without tearing. We also have neuroepithelium, specialized for sensory functions like taste, and myoepithelium, which have contractile properties to help glands expel secretions. These variations underscore the incredible adaptability of epithelial cells to diverse functional demands throughout the body. The meticulous barrier function of epithelial tissue, especially its selective permeability, is largely orchestrated by tight junctions. These junctions don't just seal, they actively regulate the paracellular pathway, controlling what molecules can pass between cells. This precision is further enhanced by the distinct polarity of epithelial cells. Each cell has an apical domain facing the lumen, often with microvilli or cilia, a lateral domain with various junctions for cell-to-cell adhesion and communication, and a basal domain resting on the basement membrane, anchoring the cell and facilitating transport. This compartmentalization ensures vectorial transport, meaning substances are moved in a specific direction, crucial for functions like nutrient absorption or waste excretion. The dynamic process of epithelial mesenchymal transition, or EMT, is a fascinating aspect of epithelial biology. During EMT, epithelial cells shed their polarity and cell-cell attachments, transforming into more migratory and invasive mesenchymal cells. This is essential for embryonic development, like forming neural crest cells, and for wound healing, where cells need to move to repair damaged tissue. However, EMT also plays a sinister role in cancer, enabling epithelial cancer cells to become invasive and metastasize, spreading to new sites. Understanding EMT is therefore critical for both developmental biology and cancer research. Furthermore, the high regenerative capacity of epithelial tissues is sustained by specialized stem cell populations, such as those in the basal layer of the skin or intestinal crypts, ensuring continuous renewal and repair throughout life. The clinical significance of epithelial tissue is profound. The vast majority of cancers, known as carcinomas, originate from epithelial cells. This is due to their high proliferation rate and constant exposure to external and internal stressors. Studying the specific types of epithelial cells involved helps us classify and understand the behavior of different cancers. From an engineering perspective, the intricate design of epithelial barriers, with their selective permeability and robust junctions, serves as an inspiration. Scientists and engineers are actively working to mimic these biological principles to create advanced drug delivery systems, develop more accurate organ-on-a-chip models for disease research, and design innovative scaffolds for tissue regeneration, pushing the boundaries of biomedical innovation. Now, for our most challenging questions, testing your competitive depth. First, explain how pseudostratified columnar epithelium differs structurally and functionally from true stratified epithelium. Second, describe the role of epithelial mesenchymal transition in both normal physiological processes and pathological conditions. Third, elaborate on the concept of epithelial cell polarity, detailing the distinct features and functions of its apical, lateral, and basal domains. Fourth, discuss the implications of tight junction dysfunction in human diseases. And fifth, how do neuroepithelium and myoepithelium exemplify the specialized functions of epithelial tissue? Continuing with our hardest questions, sixth, explain the mechanism by which transitional epithelium allows for organ distension, and name a specific organ where it is found. Seventh, what is the significance of the basement membrane's dual composition, basal lamina and reticular lamina, in its overall function? Eighth, discuss the high incidence of carcinomas compared to other types of cancer, linking it to the characteristics of epithelial tissue. Ninth, how are the principles of epithelial barrier function being applied in modern bioengineering, providing specific examples? And 10th, elaborate on the role of epithelial stem cells in maintaining tissue homeostasis and repair, using an example of a rapidly regenerating epithelial tissue. Good luck! And that brings us to the end of our incredibly detailed journey through epithelial tissue. From its basic protective roles to its complex cellular mechanisms and engineering applications, we've covered a vast amount of ground. We hope you feel much more confident and knowledgeable about this vital part of your body. Remember, learning is a continuous process. For more such in-depth educational content and to explore other fascinating topics, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates and more amazing biology lessons. Keep exploring, keep learning.